sure if I like that one. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, sorry about that. It's that awkward moment. I love you. Hold on. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Try this one. That sounded good today, man. All right. Anyway, all right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Kenny Poo with Mac Watts, Standing Bear, Soda Tribe Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Anishinaabe, 60 Scoop Survivor, published author, and welcome to We Are the Medicine Circle, which really implies that we are in the medicine circle, which really means that we're equal here. This is not a patriarchy thing. This is not a hierarchy thing. This is not a sermon. I'm not a preacher. You're not my flock. This is not a ministry. This is us just sitting together in one big circle, doing connecting to that beautiful thing called life. Beautiful thing called life, right? So the long and the short of it is I am in the service of the circle, and I'm in the service of the Great Spirit. And if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much, which really just simply means I want you to live a really good life, connect to all those things that offer us life. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. I had a really beautiful birthday yesterday, so thank you. Really kind of quiet yesterday, so thank you for that. Thank you for all the love and the gratitude yesterday. There were so many yesterday. I got over 400, I think, at last count. So I can possibly say thank you to everyone. So I'm thanking you live right now. So thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's my 52 years around the sun right here, rounding the corner, starting my 53rd year around the sun. So yeah. So we'll just continue to do what we do, and we'll just continue to do it in a good way. So, okay, moving right along, house announcement. So we have a little blip in the connection, like somebody freezes, I freezes, low sound, anything like that, some sort of audible situation. Just know that I'm not going anywhere. Standing Bear is going to stand his ground, and if I get kicked off, I'm just gonna hit that live and play button again, and we're just gonna pick up right where we left off. So please don't go anywhere if there's any little disruption in the connection there. Okay. All right. So let's start in the usual way here. We're gonna we always ask for volunteers too. So and same thing this morning. We're going to ask for volunteers to keep this smoke going. The smoke's going throughout the circle this morning, in remembrance of the residential school children that never got to make it home. And this is in response to the grandmother out in BC, Vancouver, that suggested that we keep this smoke going throughout the entire morning meditation. And yeah, that's just a beautiful. When the grandmother suggests something like that, we just follow. That's all we do. We just follow. They say, well, you know. That's a beautiful prayer. So let's keep this thing going. Just give me a little heart, give me a little thumbs up if you can keep this smoke going throughout the entire circle, please, and thank you. Thank you. So here we go. Okay. And let us begin in thank you. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And let's begin in the usual way here. Let us begin with prayer. If it doesn't begin with prayer, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. So let's begin in a really good and beautiful way. A little offering for our prayers to be heard. And then, Ritiagana to all my relations. Kitsimanitou, Great Spirit, Creator, Great Mystery, goes on in me. I love you. We love you. Chi Megwich for our life. Chi Megwich for our breath. Chi Megwich for this circle. Chi Megwich for this day. Thank you for our day. We come here today. We mean no harm in what we do. We come here in a good way. We are grateful for our last breath, and we are hopeful for our next, and we live in that beautiful place in between. We come here to celebrate life. We come here to do a little better than we did yesterday. Walk-a-pick, to learn to sit in a sacred way, to listen in a sacred way, to connect in a sacred way to all those things that offer us life. Without life, we have nothing. Without life, we have nothing, so we connect to those things that give us life. We celebrate all life. We celebrate all nations, circles, and tribes, especially those nations, circles, and tribes that don't look like the two-legged, like the standing nations, the ones that offer the world breath. We say thank you. To the fish nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water. The wind nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air. The creepy crawlies and the slitheries, the ones who teach us how to stay close and grounded to Mother Earth. The four-legged nations, circles, and tribes, the ones who offer us, give us, and teach us so much about our humanity and how to do things in a good way. We say thank you. And of course to other two-legged nations, circles, and tribes, all nations, circles, and tribes, for we understand that you are our teachers as well. This makes us happy. We come here, we celebrate those things that give us life. Water, air, earth, fire. We celebrate all directions. All sacred seven directions. We celebrate the ones that have come before us. We celebrate their lives. We celebrate the life of our ancestors, all our ancestors. All life is a relative here, and if they're a relative here, then they are our ancestors over there. So we come from a million points of light and love, prayers, and this makes us happy. Come from that really, we have this beautiful thing called life and love. And we also understand and acknowledge that some of our two-legged ancestors were hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized, and they passed that along to us. We understand that. We understand this is a time of healing, time of grieving and mourning. We understand this is a process of healing and mourning. This is a time not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. But it's also okay to heal. And it's also okay that with those wounds, they also had somewhere deep within them a sense of courage. All other life walked in a beautiful way. It took courage to do this. So let's remember the courage of all our ancestors for light and love, to come here and to experience these things, this connection with life. And again, we don't do this just for ourselves, because that would be selfish. Selfless is remembering those that will come after us, that we are part of this big, beautiful wheel of life. So we are at the intersection between two unseen worlds. Let us be grateful that we are here, grateful for another chance, grateful for another breath, grateful for another day, that we can come here and we can heal, and we can heal together, and understand that we are part of this great, big, beautiful world. and the Great Spirit that gave us teachings to follow, a path, a trail that is already made. We don't have to make a new trail or find a new way. The way has already been made. It is called the Red Road, the road of wellness, the road of love and unity. It is already there for us to follow. Teachings of humility, love, truth, honesty, respect, strength, and wisdom. These are the teachings that are on that road. So let us discover these and walk with these together. Walk with this thing called humility, and we will remember that we are one. When we walk with love, we will remember that we are one. When we walk with truth, we will remember that we are one. When we walk with honesty, we will remember that we are one. When we walk with respect, we will remember that we are one. When we walk with strength, we will remember that we are one. When we walk with wisdom, we will remember that we are one. So let us move closer to this beautiful place of life and remember that we are one. Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Well, good morning, everyone. Okay. All right. Well, it's it's another beautiful morning, another beautiful day. Again, thank you to all those birthday wishes out there. So yes. So you had a beautiful day. I had a little bit of cake too. Not really supposed to have cake these days, but I just went ahead. I was very bold yesterday and had some, had some cake. So, okay, so thank you for that. Okay, moving right along, hollow bones. Okay, that's why we're here. That prayer right there was a hollow bones prayer. That it brings us closer to a connection with life. Anything that brings us that beautiful connection. We're going to talk, and we're going to talk about that today in the reading. We're going to go over Whispers from the Hollow Bone, August 17th. There was a comment yesterday that I wish you would tell us before that moment, and so here I am trying to tell you before the moment that we are that we are already there. So okay, hollow bones. So we understand that there's a life force out there. You can call it consciousness, an awakening, whatever you want to call it, divine, universal, whatever it is. Naming it is less important than our connection to it. So let's connect to this beautiful thing called life. All those things that we mentioned. Everything begins with a spirit. So everything begins with love, humility, honesty, and the animals are represented with that. So there's a direct connection between the animals present themselves as a conduit between the seen and the unseen. That's a beautiful thing, right? So that's part of that hollow. So when we connect to the animals, we're really connecting to the teaching that they have, right? And that teaching that connects us how to live a beautiful, powerful life, so we can live the very best version of ourselves. Okay, and also, what was coming, I think I saw in the feed yesterday, maybe, or maybe it was a question in my personal messages. It was yes. I think we went over this recently, but yes, the hollow bones definition. Your definition is supposed to evolve and change. It does not remain static, right? So what we believe, what we hear, believe, understand, see today will be different. Hopefully, be different next week, next month, next year. So it's a chance to evolve and grow deeper. As Denise Miller says, Elder Denise Miller says, it's like peeling the layers of an onion, and just allow that process to flow. Oh, okay. Ancestors and elders. So let's go ahead and have a moment of gratitude. That was another question. I really appreciate when you mentioned your elders. Yeah, this is a moment of gratitude. We're supposed to take a little time out, and we're supposed to thank the ones that have come before us. And remember, like the really beautiful deep teaching here is that all our relatives here, when they cross over, they are our ancestors over there, and it is not just like if you come from the colonial world and you think our ancestors are only the blood relatives. Well, that may be so, right? But in addition to, the eagles, the bears, the bees, the butterflies, the sunrise, the sunsets, all these things, the seasons. They are also, love is also our ancestry too, spiritual realms. It's a beautiful thing. So let's thank Tony Stonehawk. I mean, really, the only reason why I'm here is because of Tony. So thank you to Tony Stonehawk. Um, Thank you to all those Muslims and Cookums over at Fishing Lake who have really guided me in a really good and beautiful way. So thank you. And all those other men and women of medicine that I've got the opportunity to sit with throughout my 30 years sitting, walking the red road and sitting with these beautiful elders from different directions. Like, um, just really beautiful, man. Just that moment of gratitude, just because there's so many right ways to do things. So the Shoshone, the Apache, they have their ways. The Paiute, the Ute, they have their way. Out in California, they have, the indigenous tribes out there, they have their way. And it's really just beautiful. We take a moment and realize how beautiful that is instead of, saying that we're wrong. Yeah, I think you missed the point then if you say, well, you're doing it wrong. I think you missed the point. I think there's a lot of right ways and beautiful ways to do that. Okay, circle medicine. This is what we are right here. This is not a prop. This is medicine to remind us how beautiful we are and how beautiful we are together. See that? That's just a beautiful thing. We are intertwined. So it's me and Holly, me, Heather, Sarah, David, Caroline, all these Sylvia, all these beautiful people. This is what we look like. Right? And so it's really important. No one's in front of us, no one's behind us, no one's above us, no one is below us. This isn't a patriarchy thing. This is not any of that. This is us sitting together in a really good and beautiful way. So let's just take a moment and just honor that. Sorry. Oh, by the way, we're on 2 platforms. We're on YouTube. So welcome to all the YouTubers out there. We love you. Okay, sacred feminine. So this is something. There was a question. We're going to cover a lot of questions, I guess. So that's just the way it is. So why do we cover sacred feminine every day? Why do we do that? And I pose this question to you. Why do you think it's so important we do that? Well, I think I just kind of let a cat out back there. I'll wait. I'll wait. I just love you guys. You know what the beautiful thing is here, man? We just have a really good, beautiful time, man. We talk about some trauma stuff, some heavy stuff, right? But we do it in such a good way, man. We're healing here and we're healing here together, right? That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. And we giggle, we laugh, we carry on, we tell jokes, and we just have a good time, we can laugh, carry on, and giggle and laugh and still learn and still recover and still heal. Like, I don't know if you know that, but that's what we do here. So anyway, why do we cover sacred feminine? It is so important, right? Because part of the reason is, and it's not the reason is, because they are the life givers should never be marginalized, right? That's it, right? That world loves to marginalize that the life givers, that they have a beautiful womb space. And let's understand, as males, we will never understand that womb space. We will never understand what it's like to have something growing inside us, right? That's the medicine that we have to understand, right? This is about equality. Maybe we don't understand each other's medicine, but it doesn't mean that we get to treat each other less than, right? Sacred feminine, you are beautiful, you are powerful, and you are sacred. And we acknowledge your beauty, power, and sacredness here. Absolutely. And just let that sink in for a second. Just okay. Yes. Because that colonial world, they say, well, they have to look like this, they have to be a certain age, they have to do this, they have to wear this, they have to put on makeup, they have to do this, they have to wear this product, they have to do all the same to look beautiful. Well, really, that's what they are sacred regardless. And that's just a beautiful thing. That's just a beautiful thing. So Okay. Okay, there's a question comment today, really. It's kind of like a philosophical, but it's not really a philosophical question. It's like, um, as we grow here, as we heal, that there's a transition, right? Right. Let's just acknowledge that healing is a transitional thing. Change, evolving, growing. These are all forms of transitioning from something to something else, right? The hope is that we heal and change into greater, deeper, richer understanding of our connection to life, why we are here, right? Right, that's the hope. So we connect to those, and like we go over to the colonial world, and they're talking about all these like deep philosophical things, and it's just like this. And you go to Tony Robbins, and go this. People pay millions of dollars to talk about what we're doing for free here. Right. Right. We're evolving. We're supposed to evolve. Right. Right. I think we're settled with that, right? So, right. We all evolve at different rates, times, and speed. We're all beautiful flowers, right? Right? We all bloom from the inside, right? But we don't all bloom at once, right? We're helping each other bloom in this circle here. We have 20, 23, 24, 21 people here, so we're actually growing together here, right? We're evolving, we're growing, we're maturing. We're all at different levels. We're all at different points at our development, right? Understanding our connection with the world, right? So, actually, that was a comment. The world, how are we supposed to connect to the world? And there was a course correction. I said, well, I think you mean Mother Earth, right? Let's be a little bit more specific, right? Um, Mother Earth. Well, we're supposed to connect to Mother Earth. We're supposed to connect to the things that give us life, right? If we don't connect to the things that give us life, then what do we have, right? Right. And here's contrast medicine, day and night medicine. So we know we're all colonial refugees, right? So, that colonial world is based on being adversarial. That flies in the face, and then the very foundation of what we are trying to do here, right? I need you to write that down, right? So well, how is it adversarial? Well, again, Democratic, Republican, conservative, liberal, let's go on and on, right? They are they are constantly trying to separate us from each other, right? And they're doing a really good job, right? They have their PhDs over there doing that, but tell you what, we come over here and we connect in a beautiful way. Just look around the circle right here. We got Frank, we got David, we got Heather. We come from all different backgrounds, right? We're usually a crowd that wouldn't mix, right? But here we are, right? Right. 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 But here we are. Let's just take note of that. Let's take note of our journey. Let's take note of where Creator and the Great Spirit brought us here, right? They brought us here in a really good and beautiful way. Just look at it. That should be an absolute moment of background, because some of us are recovering Christians, recovering Catholic, whatever that is. Um, you know, but the thing is, we all want to bloom, and we all want to bloom from the inside. And here, again, this is just contrast medicine. If we live in that world too long, right, sadness, loneliness, depression, suicidal ideations, right, we end up being on their colonial spectrum, right, right. And that opens us up the door for medication, for this, for that, right. Over here, there's a presence here that isn't over there, and the presence here also begins with the spirit and says, they ask you what's wrong with you. Over here we say, what happened to you? That's the difference. What happened to you? Let's start there, and let's start talking about where we're going after that, right? We're going on this beautiful journey called life. I want to listen to every single one of you, right? What happened to you? Where are those tears? why aren't you crying? Maybe you're crying. Maybe you're crying. I mean, maybe, maybe you're trying to match, your insides with somebody else's outsides, and that will never work, right? That will never work. So over here, when we say what happened to you, this is a place of great gentleness, right? That's the way my elder that's the way my elder got to me. It was like, the one, because everybody was shaming me, guilting me, blaming me for those things that I had nothing to do. I had nothing to do with the trauma that I had. I just experienced it, and then everything else went sideways. And I'm wondering, well, you're so, all this, and what, he was the first one to say, what happened to you? And I told him I cry all the time. Told him I sit in the room and I cry all day long, and I don't know why. He said, well, and then I at that time I didn't even know what happened to me at this time. All I knew that I was adopted, right? So I'm thinking not like I'm with this white family, and then so that's part of my trauma. I think a lot of you know that story, right? So then that's the beginning of the red road, the journey, walking down, sitting with humility, love, and truth, right? That was the first conversation. That was the first loving conversation that I ever had with myself, right? Nobody ever asked us, right? So that's the beginning of that transition into something else, right? And here's a truth that's going to not feel so good, right? So the people in our circles at the beginning may not be with us along the way, right? Because we will outgrow their comfort zone. We will outgrow their experience, their wounds, right? And that's also a mourning process that grandfather also went over with me. I'm not sure if I even talked about this before, but it's something. So we grow out of people's comfort zone, which means they're comfortable with the wounds that we carry, right? And then we don't carry those wounds, and then they're just some sort of get some kind of way, right? They blame, shame us, or guilt us, or something like that. Well, my thing is, and really at the end of this conversation here, to this comment was, right? People are leaving my life, right? Well, there's people that exit your life like that. Let them go, right? Let them go. That's part of that transition, right? Our emotional family, spiritual family, mental family, and physical family. The medicine wheel says they will all change, right? Right. So the cluster of people that are around us, they may be here, you hear in the rooms of recovery. They're here for a reason or for a season, right? Just allow that to happen, right? We don't cling on to people, let's not be codependent as we grow, right? That's really hard to do. It creates chaos and calamity, right? And personal self-crisis. Right. Right. I just saw my former sponsor in there. Thank you, Dave. So anyway, so this transition process, this is a process of being absolutely gentle with ourselves. Right? Those people, places, and those family members, they may feel comfortable with our traumas, and are comfortable with our wounds and the way we treat each other. And at some point, in my life, that I don't accept the unacceptable anymore. Right? Those old behaviors and those ways that they treat me before, I don't accept that anymore. Right? Yeah. I don't need to beg for your, relationship. Right? Like if you want to move on, then move on. Right? And that doesn't mean that we will love you any less. Right? That's just what that means, right? And we're going to talk about that. That's the exact topic that we're going to talk about today. So let's move on. Please keep your questions, concerns, and comments coming. I do not guarantee that I will get around to all of them, but I will get around to. Well, I got like 500 messages yesterday. I love you guys. Made me feel really loved and really appreciated. So just thank you for that. Okay, so we go over one of two books here. These we go over Whispers from the Hollow Bones. I know you see this backwards, and I know you see this backwards. Daily Medicine. I got a third one coming up too. Uh, Third one coming up, so I'm very excited about that. So, what we do here, and this is really important that we understand, is we will read this a couple of times, and this is really important. This is a Grandpa Tony-ism. Thank you, Grandpa. Should I tell that story? Yeah. So I just tell that. It's a funny story. I like to tell. So I said, Tony, man, we're doing this great thing, man. We're going online. We're doing the readings. He's like, okay. He's like, and then he's like, okay, where do they start? And I'm just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Well, give him, give us something. I'm like, I have no idea what he's talking about. So anyway, that's how this kind of, it's like funny, it's like laughable, right? So now we have a starting point. It's just a general impression, and the beautiful thing is, the powerful thing is, we allow this general impression to grow, evolve, and the beautiful thing is we grow, evolve, heal, and learn and listen together. How about that? How about that for some blooming, huh? How about that? Is that cool? Thank you, Grandfather Tony, for just calling me out like that. So anyway, we're going to read this Whispers from Hollow Bone, August 17th. We act exactly, directly, and according to our personal relationship with love. Wow, what does that mean? Wow. I love you. I love you. Wow. We act exactly, direct, and accordingly to our personal relationship with love. Let's relate this to the medicine. Let's relate this to indigenous spirituality. So, okay. I want to start at the back, but I'm going to start at the beginning. So, I'm a little. Okay, here we go again. We, us, and our English is a really bad language, doesn't connect us. It really disconnects us to this thing called life, right? So, like a broken clock, English is right twice a day. So, when it talks about we, us, and our, it really just tripped over the truth, right? It just tripped, it just like kind of blind man in the dark, just bumping, and it just happened to bump into something. And we, us, and our. Let's focus. When Spirit says, when we are guided by the Spirit, it says we, us, and our, we cling to that as if our life and healing depended on that, right? Let's cling to that. That's a good thing, right? We, us, and our. Because how many of us felt we, us, and our in our hearts when we first got here? We felt alone, sad, depressed, suicidal, ideations. I get that. I'm with you. Me too. Right? I'm with you. Right? Again, that world out there is designed, socially engineered, designed to break us. That's their medicine, good or bad. It doesn't matter what it is. That's just the medicine that they bring. Over here, we put that together. We put ourselves, our lives back together. We create this, the very best. I want you to live your very best life, right? I want you to live your very best life, right? I want you to be, create, understand your value, the very best version of yourself, right? Right? But we can't do it when we're sitting in there, a room alone, scared, naked, afraid. We cannot do that. But you know what? The power is here, and it starts at, I could spend the next hour talking about we. So, here we go. So, this is the we that we're talking about. This is so beautiful. It's so powerful. I wish everybody could get a braid of sweetgrass and just hold on to this and really understand physically and spiritually and emotionally what it feels like to be the we, right? Because you know what? When I grew up, there was no we. It was just me. And I was lonely, scared, afraid, suicidal most of my life, right? But when we get to this moment, when we actually touch and feel, it just smells like beauty. You ever smell? It just smells like absolute beauty. It smells like it's the hair. It's one of the four sacred medicines of the medicine wheel. Understand? This is a life-giving, life-altering, life-changing, emotional, mental, spiritual change wrapped up in the physical right here. You understand? This is what the we is. This is you and me. This is Son Walken. This is me, Heather. This is Sybil. This is Dave. This is all of us here. This is all of it. This is what we look like. Thank you, Creator, that there's a place that we can go and feel safe, loved, nurtured. That there's a thing that we don't have to be afraid anymore. That's the we that we're sitting with, and that's the we that we're going, and that's the we that we're holding on to. And if you're holding on to like anything else, then I don't know what to tell you. Come back to this place called We are the Medicine Circle. We love you no matter what. That's it. Right. Get me fired up. Whoever felt scared, alone, afraid, petrified, walking out that front door. And that represents into drugs and alcohol and other things, cutting food issues, whatever it is, all those isms, all those anti-life things that the colonial world brings us, right? Right? Leave the blame, shame, guilt at the door. You can pick it up on your way out if you want to reinvest in your misery. Over here, we pick up the we, and we hold on to each other like our life depends on it. And that's a fact. That's the deal. And you know what? The we includes Mother Earth. The we includes the love, the very love that we're talking about at the end of this reading, right? How much love are you holding on to? The more love we carry, the lighter the load. It's also part of the we that we are here. I should get a couple mics. Right? I love it. I get so fired up. I get fired up because this is the one thing that brought this bear back to life from the brink of disaster, death, and the life that I no longer wanted anymore because I was so sick of being alone, scared, tired, afraid because nobody would love me. And so I just sit with the one thing that I hated most, and that was myself. And you know what? Grandfather Tony was the first one to say, what happened to you? And that's the most loving thing anybody's ever said to me. Everybody else is judging me over there. But one guy said, you know what? What happened to you, man? Brings tears to my eyes. What happened to you? What's going on with you? What they do to you? How often they do it? And nobody's asked me that before. Here drinking, doing all sorts of fucking hateful things to myself. That's the we. That's the we right there. Right? Okay, we act. Let's not skim over this word. Every word here is significant and powerful. And the one adds power to the next. Right? Just like this circle. Silver, Tracy, Jean, every one of us adds power to the next because we empower each other. That's the circle. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to love each other. And after, the more love we carry, the lighter the load. We have 34 people in this group right now. That's a powerful fucking, we are changing the world by what we're doing here. Plain and simple. That's it. Not because of the numbers. It's because of the love that we carry. Because the love that we carry. Because when we understand that we are one, nobody can stop us. That's the deal, right? That's the deal. Right? And I don't know where I was going with that comment, but I guess I just got it. So, anyway, we act. So what is act? Walking, honoring, loving, right? Walking. We're supposed to act responsibly, but sometimes our wounds speak a little louder than our walks does, right? Right? We break out in the wrong direction. Things go sideways. We blurb something out, and it's not supposed to be there, right? Right? Sometimes. But here they're calling us out. They're calling us out here. Spirit is calling us out. They're telling us what's really going on here, because a lot of us don't know what's going on. We're hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized. We're suicidal. We say, what is going on? I can't stand this world. Square peg, round hole, right? How many of us give me a little thumbs up if you're like, I just don't fit in here, right? Well, you're absolutely right. You're not supposed to fit in that world over there, because that world wants to divide us to death. Your heart, your mind, your spirit knows that there's something better, greater, more powerful out of you. I want you to use your very best version of you, and we can't possibly do it over there alone, scared, afraid, drunk over here, but we can do it over here when we stand together. Act exactly and directly according. What is exact? What are they talking about here? Exactly. That's pretty precise, right? Exactly. That means like no deviation without discrepancy, right? Non-negotiable. That means no matter what we do or say, if we're acting differently, then that's they're calling us out, right? It's not who we are publicly; it's what we do privately when no one's looking. That's who we really are. If we're crying we're crying when we get home, then that's who we are. That's part of what we are, and that's okay, right? That's the starting point, right? Right? We're sad, lonely, miserable, sitting by ourselves, and then then I would say we have some work to do. We got some fires to sit by. We got to sit by the fire. We got to pray together, man. We got to hold each other's hands and tell them that everything's going to be okay, right? Right? We go back to the medicine that gives us life. That's the deal, right? Okay, directly. Okay, exactly, directly, accordingly. So they're trying to send us a message here. What message is Great Spirit, Creator, unseen, powerful thing, trying to relate to us now directly? Okay, without changing direction. I think that's the definition of directly. Okay, so without discrepancies, without changing direction. Okay, they're being really clear here, right? 30 years ago, I probably would have got pretty upset with this. I would get offended. But now I'm like, okay, I see what they're saying. This is a very loving, gentle thing. A little bit in your face, it's like the velvet hammer type thing, right? So exactly, directly, and according, correspondingly, conforming. That's really, I love you. I love you. And just hold on here, because this gets really good, really beautiful, really quick, right? Right. We act without discrepancies, without changing direction, and corresponding to our, again. So does we and our here. Hold on, let's count up these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 times in the first 7 words in this meditation, they use we and our. What are they trying to say? They're trying to say that we're together, right? That humanity, let's just draw back. So humanity as a whole, right? Right? That means we're steering, humanity is steering the ship. It's probably going in the wrong direction right now, but we can help. We can help, as Grandfather Tony would say, a gentle course correction, right? Not my words. Couldn't come up with that in a million years. A gentle course correction. So let's do a gentle. So they're saying gentle course correction, but here, so they say our personal. So what does that? Oh my God, how beautiful is that? So it went to the group humanity. Now it says aligns with our personal spirit, right? Personal spirit. It just called us out. It went from the big to us. So Tracy, Deb Fred, so all these beautiful people in the circle. So personal relationship. Everything begins with the spirit. Everything begins with the spirit. I love you. That's why we say that. That's why I say that. I love you. And that means I just want you to live your very best life, connected to all those things that give us life, right? Right. personal relations. We are to be good relatives. We are to we are to be good people. We are to be good ancestors. But how can we be a good ancestors if we don't know what love is? If we don't live our life according to love, right? And not love in the woo-woo sense, but love as love here. Write this down. Love is living our life in accordance with spiritual law, finding and walking with our sacred center. And how do we do that? Walking with humility, walking with truth, walking with honesty, walking with respect, walking with strength, love. But let's go to some indigenous teaching. The eagle. The eagle is so beautiful, so powerful. It can carry all these medicines. That's why it says love here. So love is closely related to humility, right? Right. So it's not just love, right? It's something else. How close are you to your humility? To you understanding that you are earth and earth is you and there's no separation. That you are the eagle. You are the wolf, the turtle, the sabe, the buffalo, the bear, and the beaver, right? How close are you to walking with these medicines, to understanding, right? Some of us are really far away. Some of us have never heard this before, and that's okay. This is not a blame, shame, guilt thing. This is just new information addressing the fact that, hey, look, we need to be better relations. We need to have good relations. And we also need to have good relations with those things unseen. And everything begins with spirit. So let's jump back to the beginning of the circle. Everything, if it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. That is the perfect, this is what they're talking about. Like if you're wondering what that means, this is what they mean. Right? This is what they mean. If it doesn't begin with prayer, then it doesn't begin. And if your prayer doesn't include love, connection to all things beautiful, to all those things that give us life, like you may find yourself at the end of the day a little short, come up short, right? Come up short looks like, feel like drinking, drugging, sadness, loneliness, depression, sitting there, what's wrong with me, what's happening with me, right? Well, so let's do a gentle course correction here. So let's connect to those things, beginning with spirit, beginning with prayer, that connects us, open that door, beginning with this. The 30-day challenge is, hey, begin my day with thank you for life. Thank you for life. Thank you for my breath. I'm grateful for my last breath, and I'm hopeful for my next. Thank you to the sunrise. I know that I'm supposed to carry that sunrise within me the whole day, and I'm supposed to share that sunrise with everybody that I meet. Not just the people that I like, but everyone. More love we carry, the lighter the load. That means we pray for our enemies. We pray for the ones that wounded us. Not as a reflection of their character, but as a reflection of ours. And if you're not passionate about life, why not? That's a reflection of the love that you're carrying. If you're complaining more than you're full of, if you're complaining and gratitude, measure that out, that will tell you exactly where you are in accordance with love. If you're complaining about the little things, then you're forgetting about the big things, right? If you're complaining about, this, that, and the other thing, financial thing, well, then that's so like if you're complaining about that first, then you've taken entitlement to the next level, right? And entitlement will never give you a good life. Entitlement tells you that you fall short all day long. Mm-hmm. And all day long tells you that you are sad, lonely, depressed, suicidal. Right? Suicidal means, in this end, not only taking our life, but not living our best life. Right? And you being okay with being suicidal and just being okay, just living an ordinary life, sitting in a room for 20 years and not doing anything, right? Just because you're comfortable doesn't mean you're satisfied or connecting to all life. Connecting to all, like, so we're here to experience our very best life, to offer our very best life, to share our healing with the next 7 generations. And you'll never hear that from the colonial world. Oh, well, of course I want the 7 generations to have a really good life. I'm never going to pray for them, talk to them, whatever, because, because they're off my radar, the spiritual radar. But in here, in the indigenous world, when we celebrate life, we have to talk about the 7th generation as a part of our life, as a part of this remarkable, beautiful, powerful circle that we live in. And if we're not talking about that, then how close to love are we? If we're not talking about the ancestors, and how close to love are we? Well, we're pretty far away. And if we're not talking about the 7th generation, we're pretty far away. In fact, we're pretty selfish right now, And selfish leads to what? Sadness, loneliness, depression. Here, it's all the same thing. You see, the pit, the morass. Quicksand in all directions. And I know, somewhere where I got that one. Quicksand. Who out there feels like quicksand in all directions? Wherever they look, see, feel, understand. Here, but here's like the beautiful thing. How much time do I have left? Am I over? I'm not over. Am I?
No.
Oh no, 15. Okay.
15 minutes.
Okay, I got 15 minutes on. Okay. I'm not having to squeeze a lot. I love you. It doesn't have to be the way it's always been, right? Okay, let's relate love to the seasons, right? Let's relate love to the seasons, right? If we're not relating to the seasons, then how are we relating to love and our connection to it, right? Right. The season. We just went through a beautiful journey through the seasons with Denise Miller and myself, and we went over this extensively. Powerful, beautiful, right? Obviously, we can't go over everything, what we went there, but but there's a sense of wonderment out there, right? We're supposed to feel that, right? And if we're not feeling it, we're really far away from love. Right? That world out there takes our imagination and replaces it with something else. Right? We're supposed to be imagination and wonderment, curiosity, all these beautiful things. We are here to reclaim all that every year. We cycle around again to understand, to hear, to feel, because we are, as humans, we are very forgetful, and that's just our nature, right? But we are to carry these things our whole life. We are to remember our birthright, and our birthright is that we are connected to all these things that bring us life and love. And if you're not feeling life and love, if you're feeling something else, then we can draw closer to that any time that we can. We do the spiritual work today. We feel better today. How about that? Right. How about that? We do the work today. We pray here together. Who feels better now than, give me a thumbs up, who feels better now than they did at the beginning of today's circle? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Like if you do, because what's happening here is right before your eyes. We are transforming into something beautiful, something powerful, something greater than what we were. Yes, there we go. Than what we were when we first beginning. That's it. Right before our eyes. We are there's a germination happening here. There's a growing. There's a seed right here that wasn't there before. How amazing is that? Mm-hmm. How amazing is that, right? Indigenous spirituality. We are the seed that here that changes humanity, and right here we have changed humanity because we have changed the minds and hearts of the people that are here. Right, because we have a great, deeper understanding of what love is. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, right? So at the end of today, we'll have more love that we have offered, and that's the way it works, right? Right. That's the power. And what this thing is, what makes it more powerful is when we're supposed to carry this love with us, the more love we carry, the lighter the load. Right. The more love we carry, the lighter the load. Somebody wrote that in a book somewhere. I'm not sure who it is. But, if you can find out who wrote that, just put that in there. Someone Google that. So, personal relationships, right? Personal relationships begin with the spirit. Man, so many things to talk about. I love you. Personal relations begin with the spirit. Are we part of the spirit that we're supposed to connect to? Absolutely. Right. So beginning with the spirit includes, we are both physical and spiritual. We are both seen and unseen. We can't divide ourselves, right? So we're just not this physical being, right? We're this spiritual being. We're this beautiful things of love and light, right? And we've forgotten that because we live in that world that takes that away. Because you know what? You're too fat. You don't make enough money. You're not driving the right car. You know what? Your hips are too big. Your midsection. You got a muffin top now. And it's just like your hair is too white now. Just like, your hair is too short. You're not wearing the makeup that we need you to wear. You see? Like, just see how that feels? And we've all been through that. And that's the kind of stuff that we really need to get rid of. Right now, we just say, you know what? Don't matter. I'm beautiful no matter what. When's the last time you said, I'm sacred no matter what? If you have life, that means you're sacred, by the way. That means you're sacred. Treat yourself accordingly. Right? Treat yourself accordingly. You're not just another blob, sitting on earth. You're beautiful, powerful, and sacred. Right? Treat yourself beautiful, powerful, sacred, and we will attract those more beautiful, powerful, sacred things. That's just the deal. Right? Right? We go to those places. We go to those places to enhance our love. Right? Right. Right. We treat a park like a zoo. We're like, oh my God, there's a tree over there. Let me take a selfie with a tree. I said, no. We're supposed to build good relationship with a tree. Right? Who here remembers my tree story? Give me a little thumbs up. I'll wait. Okay, good. I don't. No, we are all heart all the time. What is that? That's a place of love. If all trees are all heart all the time, well then let's go and connect to those things that are all heart all the time, right? And that's just one tree. There's billions of trees out there, right? And really, that's just one medicine. There's millions of medicine out there that says the same thing. The butterfly says the same thing, right? The butterfly says the same thing, right? The hawk says the same thing, right? Because they live in accordance with spiritual law. That's how we know. So the hawk is not robbing banks just so he can collect some money to buy some dope, right? That's how we know, right? People do that because, they're not connected to those things that bring us life, right? So we do these anti-life things until we find out what love really is. I need to write that one down, right? So what anti-life things are you carrying physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, right? What are you carrying right now? What are you connecting to right now? Let's go back to I think it's time to go back to the reading. so without discrepancy, course changing. So at the end of this conversation, we're going to wrap this up. So at the end of this conversation, we're talking about love, and we're talking about connecting to those things that give us life. Life is love. Water is life. Fire is life, right? Air is life. Why do we connect to those things, right? And this gets as deep and as powerful as you want it to get. The only person hitting the brakes here is you, right? Beginning with listening, first form of communication, we have to say that, right? Listening to the world, stillness. Stillness speaks a really loud language. Silence has a language that speaks really loud. And I don't know why I'm whispering when I say that. No. Stillness is a language in and of itself. Can you speak? Can you speak stillness? Can you? That's that's the paradox. Can you speak silence? Right? Can you speak listening? Right? Right? When we grow, we understand what these mean. Right? We learn more in stillness and silence and in listening than we ever heard while we were talking. Right? It opens that door with the physical tobacco, physical gratitude. So we have to go to that physical place and offer the physical things and open up that spiritual door. Right? That's why we do the ceremonies that we do, so we can understand the world and what we're doing here, so we can start complaining about what we don't have and start complaining, start feeling the life and connection that we have. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to live life, like feel, we're here to feel good. We're here to feel life and love, right? Right. Do you feel life and love right now? Right. Go ahead. Right. So, what is your takeaway going to be from here? Right. What is your takeaway going to be from here? How are you going to walk with this prayer today? Right here, you can put it in the feed right there. When you put it in the feed, it helps, gives people permission to put, their things in the feed, right? Right. What is your takeaway going to be? How are you going to carry this message? What message are you going to carry with the rest of the connect? So what we live here, love here, and learn here, and listen to here, what, out of all that, what are you going to, listening with all our senses, good life, good. No wrong answers here. Right. So we're here to connect to all these beautiful things, right? Begin to connect to all these beautiful things. We don't focus on the sadness. We focus on those things that give us life. We go to those things that empower us. Those things that make us feel good. The water, these are the things that make us feel good, that give us life. Even in physical proximity, there's an energy there. There's an energy field there that changes who we are, what we are, and how we perceive and look on things. It's really that simple, right? So I've never heard anybody say, go on a hike or go to the park and feel worse. I've never heard that. But I've never heard that. But whatever feels there's a cost. Anybody else, listening to the wind, listening to the waves, listening to the mountains, listening to the water. Everybody says, oh yeah, it brings me a sense of peace and calm. Well, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Build that relationship. Go there and say thank you. Like you want to learn how to love, say thank you more. Mm-hmm. Right? Write that one down. If you want to learn to love, be more grateful. It's really that simple. If you don't know how to love, say thank you. Because thank you for, probably say, eventually, hopefully you're going to say, hey, thank you for life. Hopefully eventually, thank you. It took me a little while to get there, right? Right, because there's prayers felt like a lie in the beginning, right? But 30 years ago, I'm doing the 30-day challenge, being like, I don't know why I'm here. Grandfather's telling me this, I should do it. And, he's like an old guy, I should probably listen to him. And then, like a couple years later, I'm like, thank you for life, thank you for my sobriety, thank you. And look where we are now. It's really, that's just the way it went. That's a little picture of exactly the way it went. Okay. All right. Yes, good, beautiful. Thank you for life. Good. See, there we go. Sandra, awesome. Okay. So, let's see. Should I do some? I think I will. All right. So, couple of announcements. Okay. Upcoming travel. This is the big one. I will be traveling to Paris here in a couple of days. So hit or miss on the Facebook Lives. Do the Facebook Lives. There will be at a different time. There's a time difference there. It's either 6 to 8 hour time difference. Or it will be earlier because we're there now. if you miss me here, just go to my YouTube channel, Standing Bear, the author. There's like a library of information. That's why we have that there. So just go, please like and subscribe over there. We're going to download all these things over there. Just go over there, just scroll through the day, and just hit a day over there. There's a lot of teachings, a lot of flute music over there. So yeah. Okay, Women's International Women's Group, International Women's Healing Circle Facebook group, Zoom meeting. Maureen O'Hara does a great job over there. She assists over there, and Denise Miller does a great job. Great job over here. Okay, the 2023 Gathering of Elders on the Mississippi River. 26th through the 29th, Nauvoo, Illinois. I will never get that right. Nauvoo, Illinois. Like, it sounds like that Star Wars like thing. Naboo. It's like Nauvoo, Illinois, right? So anyway, so please join us there. There's a bunch of us from We Are the Medicine Circle that are going to be over there too. It'll be very exciting that we get to sit together. It's going to be like a little We Are the Medicine like gathering inside a larger gathering. It's going to be really exciting. Okay. Anyway, let us medicine to close out the circle. To put that one thing on your heart. Yeah, like you can put your hand there. Just put that one thing on your heart, right there. One thing that you need to work on, that you want to connect to. This is grounding medicine. This is not entertainment. This is grounding medicine. This is a Danny Goodman flute. Grounding medicine. Just sit there and, that moment of like, that's that moment of grounding. That's what we're looking for. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Kept that a little bit short. The final word is this ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. So let's take what we lived here, learned here, loved here, and listened to here and take it out there. That's more important than hitting that share button. It's how we walk. It's our personal journey through love. That's what today's reading was about. Like, how loving are you going to be today? My name is Kanipa Whitmakwa, and if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. Let's have a great day. Bye-bye. Wow.
There you go, baby.